If you guys want to mute, you guys are allowed to do PTSs if you have questions or concerns, because we do want to hear from you, because you guys are the ones that are going to be, this guy basically affects, Kyrie as well. However, anything voted on or anything discussed that needs to be voted on will be HICOM only, unless we want you guys to actually put your TVs in. Okay. So as we go forward here, uh, we'll start with the old business. If you guys are looking at sheet, prospect to trooper, right? I think everybody can agree that it's pretty much 95 to 99% done, right? Smiley, you would say?
Yes. So we have the recruit process figured out, and then we have that in between the recruitment and basic, and then we have what happens after basic, and basically how we're slotting them into squads really is going to be either basically up to the squad leaders. So if we see that people um, are completing basic relatively quickly, our squad leader is going to jump on getting them into the squad, um, and trying to fill the squad themselves. So,
Okay. Do you want to do the whole, like, 1-1 is looking for so and so troopers and stuff here?
yeah, we can, yes, that was my
Job
plan
board.
to have a squad recruitment
Okay.
or something. So, and that can also be a place where you can request reservists if we need it.
I can set up a job board / squad recruitment channel after this. So what I would say for that is the squad board. We have a pin that has all of the up-to-date open slots, and then we can post them there when reservists are needed and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's just a matter of keeping it updated. And
Well,
if we
I
have
can do that.
if we have only one person that has the message, then we rely on that one person to change it. So,
or I can set up a GDoc that's pinned in that channel.
or we just have it all solely for squad leaders to do that.
Okay.
I don't think we need a job board right now. We have 2 squads.
Yeah. I think right now, Raven, it just needs to be like a ping, and hey, we're looking for so and so, and just let them do it that way. Dead, go ahead. You had a PTS.
I have a suggestion for when this does become something. If
Good.
just instead of when you guys can have your roster sheets, instead of having like a whole Google Doc where we need all that to be complicated, there's a event bot you can have where you can throw it up and you can set a number of slots that are allowed to be filled, and anyone that's within a specific role, you can select the role that you are allowed to ping in that event and put it in the channel you want it to be in. And so basically any recruit that's in there, you can just have only allow them to join that event, and if they're interested in being in that squad, you can make sure to give squad leaders the event role to allow them to ping in that channel with the said event, and they can throw up squad recruitment that way.
That sounds way more complicated than how we
It's
had.
actually really simple once you know how to do it. It's incredibly simple. It's a little
Wow.
it's just literally just a clicking thing. So
I don't know how to do it, so
I can teach you.
I'm against it.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
We're gonna. It's a
This
good idea, but we're gonna hold off on that right now.
we're trying not to make things complicated. We're trying not to include a whole bunch of fucking shit. They're trying to keep it simple, and the reason the reason for the Google spreadsheets is to keep it simple, because spreadsheets are simple. You can make it simple.
And multiple people can collaborate easily.
Yes.
Hello?
So there's a reason why we have rosters, and it's not necessarily to keep track of who's coming or who's not coming, but it's more important for promotions, and it's more important for keeping track of who has what qualification, stuff like that. So
yeah, I personally like the way that we do squad recruitment, in the 501st. Me personally, just because it's so simple. You just put out a ping, you tag the reservist, and you say, hey, we need these people for tonight, and we also need, this many troopers to fill in the squad, right? That's something that the squad leads and team leads can do. And it's just a simple post is just made. And if you get some DMs or somebody message you, then, you got your people, they try out, they fit the squad in the field, and, there's no reason for them not to be slot. I think that's, and that allows the squad leader to kind of, it gives them a little bit to like build their squad the way they want to. So, and if people don't fit the energy and the type of people that are around you, then that also leads to conflict future and down the line and stuff. So, I think the way, I think that way is just going to be the easiest way to do it, like in the story. So, um, if we're all kind of good with that, we're all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, qualification documents is the next thing, because now, let's say we're either reservists or we're slotted. Um, I know, Smiley, you put out a thing asking for two ATs to be, or two ATs per squad. Um, is there anything else you would like to see squad based? Like,
Not at this time, and if I do, it's gonna be posted. So,
okay, all right,
but that's the only thing is I just AT is what kills infantry. So, or
yeah,
tanks armored is what kills infantry. So that's
okay.
all.
Um, Dead and me have been, well, Dead mostly has been helping me make these qualification docs. Once me and Smiley go through them and change and fix and do whatever, these qualification docs will be posted. At that point in time, I'm going to have anybody new that joins, if they want the qual, they have to go through it. Um, for those of you that have quals, uh, I suggest you get with me or whoever, and we run through, because we don't really have a qual teaching staff yet, so it's going to be mostly me. You get with me, and we're going to go through the doc. Even though you have the qual, I still want to go through it with you, just so we're all on the same page of how stuff should be ran. So that's going to take time, but I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. All right. That also leads to people who are willing to teach. Right. We know we have some basic trainers, um, but I also want to do, like, qual trainers and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in any of that, one, you have to have the qual. Two, and two, I have to see you kind of teach it. Uh, Follow the docs. That's all that you need to do. All right. Um, so this is something that you guys can put in the chat or DM me if you guys are interested. Um, but they're, once me and Smiley sit down and go through them and they get posted, people who don't have that qual need to go through the qual training, like in the story. I know I've kind of been lenient on it, and like we've been running it, running the training, with you guys out seeing the docs, because it's basically on my head. But I don't want to, like, with new people coming in here that are not from the 501st and not us and not the original, foundation group. Um, they see somebody getting something an easier way than they did, they're going to get pissed off about it. So it's all going to be on an equal playing field, and I haven't really able to push that playing field because we haven't had the docs done. But once we get the docs done, all of that has to go through proper channels. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is there's no more handouts once it gets posted. So we're all good with that. Smiley, you good with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is everybody good with that? Okay.
Yeah, all good.
Yep, I've
Oh,
got no
yeah,
arguments.
I saw you on mute.
Sorry, I was typing.
Okay. One thing did change, Smiley. Josh did ask to be put on reserves, so that leaves Talon with like two people.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to handle that, but he messaged me asking to be moved to reserves because he's going to be busy with rugby during the summer.
And I
And he
will
does.
take a day off. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Um, I think we kind of covered slotting and billet arrangement, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done. No one else has expressed interest or wanted to be put in the roster. So those that are there are, now aside from Josh, the people that are going to be here. So it does seem that we get an average of 3 to 4 reservists every op so far, just from people that want to hang out. I'm hoping that number stays up. So as long as that keeps being a thing, then we can keep running 2 squads. So Talon will probably get most of the reservists that come in until we can fill up the squad. It might be a case of, and I'm still kind of going to discuss with the squad leaders about the whole recruitment process, but it might be a case where if someone new comes in, I might just try to slot them anywhere I can right away and just have that chain start and that communication start. But we'll get there when we open. I'm not really too worried about it.
Okay. I will be starting the process of PBOing the servers and just kind of moving on. So what PBOing means is if you don't have our mod list, you cannot get on our servers. Like, in the story. This is to keep people from joining and having extra mods they're not supposed to have. PB&J, PBO. And also I'm going to be starting on a whitelist mod. I kind of have an idea, but I need you guys to start putting like mod suggestions that are like quality of life stuff more so than server side, because the server side is pretty much set. I'm going to add the breaching charge, Smiley, for the CQS stuff because it gives a purpose for that qual. So that is another mod that I'm going to add. But after that, it's, I mean, unless it's something like super dire that Hobnob knows and I don't, or Smiley, that I don't, the mod list is pretty much set.
To be
but
clear,
that's
Mayhem, you can the way the PPO check thing works, you don't specify the mod list. You specify the whitelist. So you can change the mod list just by changing what mods are on server.
no. Yeah.
And what you put in the config for the PBO check thing that kicks people, you put the whitelist mods. So you can update the main mod list whenever you want, and you don't have to fuck with the PBO checker thing every time you want to change the main mod list.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
so the PBO checker just looks at the mod list.
The PBO checker, the config field for PBO checker is saying what mods are allowed to either be loaded or not. Like what PBOs are allowed to be different from what the server has loaded, either not loaded or loaded when the server doesn't have it. And so if you put like, I don't know, TAW view distance in PBO check, even though the server doesn't have that mod loaded, because it's in the config, you're allowed to join with it. Otherwise, you have to have exactly what the server has loaded, which is why you get kicked from the 501st servers when a mod updates, because the servers go and update, and PBO check says you haven't updated your mod, you don't have the same mods as the server, and this different mod that you have, which is just an outdated mod, isn't in the whitelist config, so goodbye. That's how that works.
Yep. So that's going to be started here shortly. So probably actually tonight I'm going to start working on it. So hold on. You good, Savannah? All right, hold on. All right. So just giving that announcement to everybody that's going to happen. Customs. I kind of started working on mine. I need to make a list of people who's going to receive one. So I know me, Smiley, basically the founders first are going to get them. I just kind of want to touch over this. We do need to start figuring out, Smiley. Um, like this is like the last thing on the list, but we do need to start spilling out like a lot of people have been asking this is when they get stickers and stuff on their helmet and how we want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to start kind of looking into that. I'm also taking that script Hobnob and I'm working on putting that in the resupply stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if this is going to work. But I was just going to copy and do it. But
I think Raven put it in the meeting notes. I don't know if he did, but
yeah, it did.
TLDR, please don't request resupplies when I can't spawn them. When you guys requested them last op, I literally opened up the developer console and started typing in SQF to manually spawn the pods.
Yeah.
Because they're not in Zeus.
I'm currently trying to fix that. I'm sorry. I'm going to use the script that Hobnob gave me and do a lot of testing with it and make sure it's spawnable. And then I'll probably update the mod and I'll let you guys know when that happens. So I'm going to kind of put on the back end cap now, start working on PBO and do a little bit more Oxmod stuff and fine tuning what we already have before I add any more stuff. However, I do the main core people that were here from the beginning. So me, Smiley, Cold, Hob, I believe you're one of the first ones too. There's like 3 or 4 of you guys that get a custom because you guys are here from the get-go, and I'm going to allow that. However, we do need to figure out how to do the other stuff. So what, like if we're doing sergeants or team leads or operation style, like whatever, however we're going to do that process, it needs to start brainstorming on it, and then
Well,
we can implement it.
Mayhal was going to say I do have a document from when we originally did some brainstorming on it, so we have a foundation.
Yeah. It's just something to put in the back of our heads because we're at that point now where we can start like really fine tuning stuff, and that's we need to start that fine tuning because before we open all of that other stuff needs to get figured out. But I think we're good, like from start to like getting slotted to being in reserves to all of that stuff. I think that's pretty much good to go, other than some paperwork stuff.
Yes. And you know, I think that real quick, hold on, Jolly. I just wanted to say one thing. I think that if the fire extinguisher too. So you know, that pop up. So there might be some things that we actively change as we go.
Yeah. Also, one thing since we're here and I do have to clear the air on this, and this is my fuck up, so this is why I'm clearing it. Ratatasker, you know, I was standing by you guys and trying to push for you guys and doing all this stuff. And then it came down to when you guys actually opened that everybody went missing. If I'm going to open the attachment, I'm expecting you to be here, like end of story, and that goes for anything, right? Hobnob, you know, you can't. We have so much air stuff to do that infantry first, so I'm not even gonna. You know, you're here regularly, so I'm not even. That ain't even an issue. But I have, you know, 3 people, and out of the 3, only one is constantly here, and that's Gary. And I'm not trying to call people out for it, but I am. It is a little bit like a slap in my face, you know, when I went against, you know, the better judgment of some other people to open you guys, and now nothing's there. So, I'm going to give you guys a couple weeks. If I don't see anything, Raven, more activity. That's I have to do that. I have to be that way. Um, and that's just how it is. So I need you guys to figure it out. I need you to, you know, the LOA that you went on, Raven, not your fault. You got dislocated shoulder. Like, I understand. That's not what I'm talking about. the specific person I haven't seen at all get on the servers.
Well,
And
I
then,
actually want to discuss that with you after this.
yeah,
There's
that's
some
fine.
more development that I need to discuss with you.
That's fine, but you understand where I'm coming from with it, right? Okay.
Oh, I understand where you're coming from. I just can't get help. I can't help getting assaulted by a goat and dislocating my shoulder. Yes, a goat was involved.
Okay, but on a serious note, though, like, yeah, I go. On a serious note, though, like, I, I already talked to you. You guys know my expectations for that group, and you know what I'm expecting to see,
Yes.
and I haven't seen it. Just keep that in mind. This is basically your warning.
Drink your water.
Okay. Um,
Drink your water.
you know, I right now we're focusing on mainly infantry stuff. That doesn't mean you don't show up. Show up, help. Talon has no people in his squad right now. None.
Right here.
Right? He has
He's right
Jolly.
here.
That's it.
Come on.
You know, do what you got to do to help
He actually
out
has water
the
in the bowl.
majority rather than focus on
It's
what
not a
you guys want to
lot,
do.
but
It's
it's
the need of the
there.
group.
Drink your water.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
right there.
Smiley. Go ahead. Focus on the need of the unit as a whole rather than the individual. And that's the I need to preach that to you guys because you guys are the ones that are going to preach it to the people below you. And we also have some new people in here, Dead, Phoenix, Jolly, Brokey, like those guys, and Kyrie. I would have to say that those people, you know, they are the ones that we serve, that we help, that we, make all of this stuff happen for. And you got to be selfless. And I'm going to preach that every meeting because I need to get that beat into everybody's heads that it's not what somebody wants. It's about you know, what the unit needs. And needs and wants are two different things. Okay. So, um, so, um, I just have to get that off my chest here, and I have to make that kind of put my foot down because if stuff doesn't change, you know, I'm going to have to make a change because we can't pull
Well, I'm
focus
gonna.
majority.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can't. I can't pull focus and do stuff for Ratatasker if there is no Ratatasker, and we don't have anybody for Ratatasker to support. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it
Oh
goes.
no, I get you.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say. I will say. I don't know when I'm gonna be recovered from this because it can take me a few weeks.
That's fine, and I understand your situation too. So like, I'm just telling you, like stuff needs to happen, and people need to get on server, and I need to see activity, or else I'm going to have to make the hard call. That's going
Can
to
I
piss some
make
people off.
a proposal?
Yeah.
Instead of doing what would be akin to essentially a disciplinary action in a couple weeks, and which would probably likely end up in the detachment disappearing and never coming back. Maybe just roll back opening it and postpone opening it until the people are ready, until Mr. Goatman's shoulder is unfucked, and until the other guys, I don't know who it is, are ready to commit to playing semi-frequently. As a suggestion, it might be better for everyone if we postponed it now instead of air quotes disciplined them in a couple weeks.
And that's and that's where my mistake was. I probably opened you guys a little bit too soon. I gave you the go ahead, and now looking at this and looking what has happened, it's kind of like, well, fuck, you know. And then, again, your health thing, Raven, that's not on you. That's complete. You got attacked by a goat. I can't really save you from that or do anything with that. But I don't really know what's going on with the other person, and so far, Kyrie's been the only one here that's done and willing and sacrificed what he wants to do to help out the benefit of the group. You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
gonna solve your problem on the second person once we've had our discussion.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll put it that way, and it's gonna make it a hell of a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Raven, this is a real thing I'm considering. So you gotta. I might have to postpone it. Like I'm seriously thinking about it. Like, because if you're not healthy enough to get on and play and do stuff, then Joel's not here and Kyrie's the only one here, and Kyrie's getting pulled in multiple different directions, like it might and doesn't mean it's go away. It just means for right now there's no use because we gotta do other stuff. So and you guys gotta worry about your health because that's more important, right? So I don't know. We'll figure out. I might do something at the end of this, but we'll just keep going. Um, the last thing I have on my list is the stuff from Hobnob that
What you doing?
Raven put in the thing. Number one on the list is don't request a resupply Hob. That's the number one thing on the list. Um, I saw some things in there that were put in there about how like Valkyrie's going to run and everything, but do you want to elaborate on it a little bit of what you're thinking? Or
Yeah. Just like a TLDR, how to use Valkyrie for the average grounds ODST guide. One, a lot of our assets and tools, like for example, anti-tank missiles, straight don't work. So I can't really kill a Scorpion. There's nothing I've got short of like leaving the Pelican, going and getting the stupid fucking spaceship saber thing, and then hitting it with a Spartan laser. There's nothing I got that can kill a Scorpion. I also don't have any kind of optics. Anyone who's flown a LAT in 501st, that thing has a pilot camera with the max possible zoom on it, and so doing recon in a LAT is super easy. In the Pelican, I don't have anything. I can't control right click does nothing. I'm looking out of the cockpit with my eyeballs, so I can like fly up ahead of a convoy route and look at the road and determine if there's like a roadblock on it or something, and I can hover above you guys and draw fire. And I'm really good against infantry with a 70mm cannon that I've got on the nose of the thing. But TLDR, I can't do recon. I can't do anti-tank. I don't survive very long if the enemy has if the AO is like dummy spicy, like there's multiple Scorpion tanks and shit, or like any kind of AA. But what I am really good at is hovering over the top of a squad that's getting engaged from all directions and drawing all of the infantry fire so you guys can recover. I'm good at picking you guys up and redeploying you guys back to the ship as fast as possible, and deleting infantry squads that are flanking you on hilltops. That's also very fun. So that's what I can and can't do.
Yeah, and again, we will work on that when I get done the infantry stuff. So
yeah, I don't have any complaints. That's how I kind of want it to work. I don't want to turn the Pelican into a weapon of mass destruction. I like it being this kind of like anti-infantry transport thing that doesn't have many armaments. Just has a chin gun for killing fucking innies.
Gotcha.
That's the vibe I'm going for. So don't ask me for heavy cast. Ask me to kill infantry squads.
And also, like the only person that should be on 35 is the FAC or the JTAC. So if you have if you have an LR on you and you are a squad lead, the only thing you need is 60. If you are a medic, you should not have 60 or 35 up on your LR. It should just be the mednet. Now, I don't mind people tuning into listening to it. However, if you talk on it, I'm gonna smack you, and Colt's gonna smack you. 30, yeah, and Brokey's gonna smack you. So just keep that in mind.
Don't touch mednet, please.
Yeah, don't touch. And also,
I'm a toucher.
Yeah. Dad, I saw you had a PTS back a while ago. Go ahead.
Man, I forgot what the one was. I've had oh yeah, one for Ratatasker. Actually, I had two for Ratatasker. The drone one that I suggested, and I still think that one might be useful because we currently have no way of transporting drones other than deploying them and having them follow us, which can make enemies see us a lot easier, much sooner than they should be able to, as drones can be a lot further than the player can. Um, to. I can't speak much on how you're going to handle the situation, but a suggestion is if it's not handled how you would like it, you could wait on doing whatever on using them until you get people to fill up what you would like. Then start it once you have people qualified to do it. That's my suggestion. And like, I mean, how you want to do that, of course, is you. I have no say so. It's just a suggestion. As for you, Hobnob, I do believe the Hornet actually has really good AGMs.
I'm an Optray dev. I have some experience with most everything in Optray. The problem is a conflict of different mods. Optray in itself is mostly a screenshot tool. There isn't much of a semblance of balance. And because we're mix matching different mods together, and because of Ace compatibility essentially not existing, because the Optray Ace compat is mostly just for medical items. It doesn't do anything about all of the Ace vehicle shit. The missiles don't do anything.
So
It's a
just like high explosives with no penetration.
Yeah, they like I tried to kill a Shrike, which is not a heavily armored thing by any stretch of the imagination. And I put 63 jackknives into it, and it did nothing. It did like 10% of its damage. The Hornet missiles are the C2 GMLS guided missile launch systems. Those are what I put on the Pelican. Those are great against like enemy Pelicans. If you see me shoot down enemy Pelicans and shit, that's what I'm using. Those are great for AA. It's just they can't do anything to tanks. Tanks don't give a shit.
More or less what I'm going for is not necessarily using what comes stock, but if you swap them out with a Zeus. I know the Hornet has some really nice AGMs, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm using the Hornet, so.
No, trust me, I know.
I'm sorry,
it's
not to discredit your knowledge. I'm just saying I fucked around a little bit, so.
It's our server settings and the vehicles and the configs. It's not all set up yet properly, and it needs some like actual looking at before it can actually work.
Okay.
Which means I have to touch it.
Mayhul has to touch it, but Mayhul should touch infantry first. It's not a problem. I'm just saying.
It's just something
you guys are carrying. Yeah, I bring it up only so that you guys know that I can't kill the Scorpion, so that you don't try calling me to kill the Scorpion, because I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go, I don't know, pick it up and drop it in the ocean. That's the best I got.
No, I
I would love to see that, mind you.
I was just making a suggestion. I apologize. Wasn't really aware of it too much, but so. That's all I can remember. So, thank you for hearing me out at least.
As for also custom helmets that you mentioned, Mayhul, also because I'm an Optray dev, my custom helmet is in Optray, so I don't need one. Thanks.
Yeah, you have a dev helmet, don't you, Hub? I've seen
that's a flex.
Am I back? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mayhal, you just missed Hub flexing.
You don't need to do my custom helmet. You can skip me.
Okay.
Because my custom helmet's in Optray.
Oh, is it?
Because I'm an Optray dev. It's in the helmet you see me wearing. Who do you think made a pink helmet called Uwu that has chibi stickers on it?
Oh my.
I keep forgetting that. Well, you already got your sit then, so you're good.
Also, the other note I put in there for your hobbies about the usage of the term "fac," if you wanted to go over that quickly.
And that's a JTAG SOP item. That doesn't need to be gone over here.
Okay. I don't know if you wanted to or not.
again, I want to put this out there. I'm going to need help on the texturing side of things. Config is going. I'm going to have to teach it, and it's going to be a little bit more uh, done carefully because you can really fuck up some configs, and if you do it wrong, I'm gonna slap you hard. So, but if you guys have any kind of interest in helping with that or anything, please get with me so we can start. I can at least start teaching you how to texture, and then we can.
Or I can teach them.
Yeah,
I can texture mobile now, Michal. So
yeah, and I know Phoenix has been helping teach like Jolly and some other people, Raven, but
lots of people. The more textures, the better.
yeah, yeah. But I just want you guys to understand that, like, if you guys want to help, you guys can, but there is going to be a process to it, and I can't have you put your hands on everything yet. So we're going to start with texturing if that's what you guys like to do, and then if you want to watch me do some config stuff, if that intrigues you and you want to learn more, then I can kind of teach you what I know. I am not the best at this. I'm learning from Klinger actually at this moment. Those of you who don't know who he is, he's the monkey. He's he's a god. He's really he does a lot of shit. So I'm learning from him. But like with the aircraft hob, and I was saying earlier, the aircraft's I'm gonna need a lot of help with that because I haven't really touched aircraft like that. So and I know you sent me something in the settings with the aircraft, right? I believe.
No, I've just sent you to drop the supplies thing.
Okay. But yeah, when we get to that hub, I'm probably gonna need your help a lot with that. I can do all the work. I'm just gonna need your guidance for it, pretty much.
The last thing we had on the agenda was Cold wanted to talk about Cold, or one of the members of the medical guard, wanted to talk about the new drugs.
Yeah. So, Brokey, you were in the medical meeting. Jolly, you were there. Cold, I don't know exactly what. I know what's been changed. I don't know how it affects us, but there's stuff that's changed medical wise that you have to hear. So,
Brokey or Jolly, either one of you want to just have the floor, you can explain it, and then we'll see what we can do on our end after this.
Yeah, Jolly, if you don't mind, I'll take it over because there's also a few other stuff that I've been also messaged about it. So as of currently right now, pain meds, like the little Tylenol boxes, reiterating the ones that are in medical and the one that are in the ammo, they're both the same. The only difference between them is none. The only reason why they're in both is because they technically have an ammo count, quote unquote, because it's stupid. It's Arma. As it stands right now, what I'm about to post in the chat, that is basically the baseline for the Tylenol. 40% pain reduction, 20-second onset, 2 viscosity, 15-minute clearing, stuff like that. It's pretty much all it is. With that, we are transitioning from the 10 that's in the pill boxes down to 4. So we've either got to make a decision now to put morphine back into kits or raise the pillbox count to 4 to 5 for infantry. I personally do not want morphine to be pushed because from what I seen last op compared to the op before that when we had morphine, the op before that we had 3 morphine ODs technically, but we had to push Noclin into them to wake them back up. And last op we had no morphine ODs, so everything was. Yes. Beforehand, it was like what 8 painkillers to OD you on Tylenol. It was so fucking stupid.
All right. So I'm just gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna speak for everyone, unless you feel differently. I'm no morphine, infantry kits. That's a no. Morphine and infantry, when they have their own supply, never goes good. If anyone wants to keep morphine in the infantry kits, please say so now. Or if you have a reason, please do say. Because otherwise, I'm more. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily think it should be kept on every infantry kit that comes standard. I think morphine should be at the user's discretion. So,
I
so basically, if someone's gone through medical training, like either BMT or AMC, they should be allowed to carry one, maybe two morphine, and if they've maybe a 1 to 2 strike system, if they die or are constantly get morphine overdoses in op, from being stupid, then they should have revoked. Now, I don't think it should come standard, but I think it should be allowed to um it should be at the user's discretion if it's permitted
So
by like a squad leader
so
or
dead.
medical. But that's sorry. That's just how I think
No,
about it.
you're good, but I'm gonna explain what my problem with that is. More, this is just experience in the 501st. The amount of times that people have like given kits to fresh people and just said, "Oh yeah, change it however you like it. Put your own personalization in there. Everything there's kosher." And then it finds out that it's not kosher, and someone's carrying around more morphine, and then word of mouth is like, "Oh yeah, you can carry morphine in your kits," or "No, you can't." And then I just don't see that as just a good thing to go forward with. Additionally, like a strike system at that point, if we're giving people strikes and like counting why they shouldn't be using morphine, then it's probably a case that they ruined it for everyone else. So I'm probably going to stonewall the morphine in anybody's kits in general until
Because
I figure out a way to make that happen.
I mean, because
Colt, can I add on to that?
Yeah, go
PTS.
ahead.
Yeah, sorry for cutting off. I also know James and we briefly talked about it. I don't know if James has talked to you with you, Colt, but he's also at the same point where we are. We do not want morphine in any of the kits. Because also some people don't know how to properly use morphine because they think it's just a painkiller. But some of them also know it lowers heart rate. But at the same time, you guys don't have medical perms, let alone doctor perms, to check your heart rate. So if you guys see breathing normal, that's usually on the lower end of things or on the higher end. And you guys, if you push a morphine, if it's in the lower end, you will go down and you will go 9/10. Like there's like no way around that. That's the reason why we don't want to push or I don't want to push morphine into kits, because I saw it firsthand like 2 ops ago. People can't check their pulse, can't get the exact number, and they push it anyways, and they just slumped right in front of me. You're like, okay, well, their heart rate went down too much, and because people can't see their heart rate, I would say no on infantry having morphine. Otherwise, then we have to give everyone medical perms so that they can check their heart rate, and that gives them a lot more variety, and that kind of takes away from some of the medical stuff. But that's just my piece on it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and agree with Cold. Let's just take the morphine out of the kit.
Hey, Mayhawk, can I also PTS
Yeah.
about this? Thank
Yeah.
you. I also don't like infantry holding any morphine, even if they do AMT for the hell of it. Just because if they die, people are just going to steal their morphine. And that's more morphine in more people's hands. That means more overdoses. And I don't care if we say, like, oh, if you see morphine, don't grab it. People are going to grab it because people are people and people are stupid. So that's kind of my problem with it if we allow infantry. And also, Broken and Cold are also right on top of that.
Yeah,
I just
so-
don't like more chances of people ODing and taking more time off of actually critical people, where we would have to work on the ODing people because they just stole it off some infantry guy they found in the middle of the field. You know what I mean? That's my piece
Yep.
on that.
Okay. All right, Hub, go ahead.
So in 501st, the sort of meta is that the troopers have the painkillers and the medics duct tape their arms back onto their torso and they give them enough soup so that they are conscious again, and then they leave them to go to the next person. But we don't have to play like that here. We could have a system where if you're like your fucking arms are waving all over the place because you're like screens flashing and you're all fucked up on pain, you could go up to your medic and ask them to give you some pain relief, and then they can do, they can check if it's safe to give you morphine, or if it's not safe to give you morphine. They can know what to do to reduce your pain safely.
Mm-hmm.
Just as an alternate option, instead of giving troopers powerful opioids, maybe we could just ask the medics to unfuck the troopers.
And I think that's kind of what they're saying. Hob is we give the guys some painkillers in their kit, and that's it. And then if they are at that point where the painkillers aren't working, then the medics need to step in and do stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that's what Cold and Brokey are trying to get at with having no morphine in the kit.
So
Yes, there you go.
what I'm thinking for the solution, because of the amount of painkillers in the boxes being reduced, I feel like we up it. What do we have now? 2 boxes.
Yeah, it's 2 boxes in every kit.
So we just bump it up to 4. And what is that? Like still 16, maybe, if it's 4 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do that. And then on the medical side, if pain still is an issue, then we can figure out something that we can do with like medical. I mean, I still feel like we have enough opioids and stuff like that. I mean, we have ketamine, fentanyl, morphine, and we have what, peroxin or whatever. I don't know what it's called. It's been a minute, but we have everything in the world. Yeah, Penthrox. We have everything in the world to not only fix one squad, but the next county's drug problem too. So I feel like in that case, just if you can't play, you have a medic in your squad for a reason. So just go to them.
Mm-hmm.
What is the actual OD limit of the boxes?
So,
give me the actual OD.
Brokey, you've been on the field longer. I mean, my memory serves like 8. If you don't get close to 10, but if you're going to get close to 10, then 8 should be your limit, and then your possibility if you're going uncon is like raised significantly.
so I accidentally mistyped something. So the maximum limit that you can take on painkillers is 10. By the time you take 10, you're dead. Like you're OD, you died. And if you do that on purpose, that should be DA. Like I don't care if at that point I would just say I'm done. But what it comes, it's oh no, you're good. So it's 4 per box. The most that you need to take if you're in severe pain is 3 at most, because it stacks. It goes 40, 80, then 120, and at that point, at 120, you're basically fucking combat effective. Like you're full on. You can guns ho it, and then after I think it's so after 4, there's a 20% chance for you to go unconscious, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, Cold. I think we do 3 boxes, not 4.
Then 3 is what we'll do.
Okay.
And just to say that if anybody's abusing medical in that way, like even if you're just on server and it's all by yourself and you're fucking around, then sure. Or if you're on the medical training area and you just want to figure out what stuff does, then that's fine. If you're on the field or standing before brief on field, anything like that, you abuse medical, that is an automatic DA. And I feel like I don't think anyone has a problem with that and should already know this already.
Yeah.
But just to be safe, should say that because medicine's fun apparently. So.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna do 3 boxes. In my mind, it's 4 uses per box, right? And they only need 3. That gives them 4 times to use 3 to heal. After that, they need to resupply, which makes sense. And if they use more than 3 at a time, then they need to get to their medic, which is something that we need to start teaching them. So I'm good with 3 boxes for the base guys, and that's it. If everybody's good for it.
Yeah.
That sounds the wisest because they shouldn't need no more than 12 doses.
That way, like it only gives them basically 12 uses, and that's 2 over the 10, and that way they don't have 16 and they can't really overdose themselves. So and it just needs to be taught. Squad leads, you need to go in there and be like, look, if you use 3 and it's not doing anything, go to your fucking medic, or use 3 more if you can't get to it, but then stop. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just needs to be taught across the board. And that's something that we probably should put in the basic training.
Also, PTS from Kyrie.
Go ahead, Kyrie.
I may be off, and I can't remember. Is Penthrox in base trooper kit?
No,
should not be.
None of the advanced drugs are in the base trooper kit.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if that was in there or not.
Now, are you okay with epi and adenosine being in the kit, Golden? It's. I think it's 3 and 3. I put in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Epi is perfectly fine because anybody should know that all it does is if someone's uncon, it helps increase the chances of them automatically waking up on their own, or it also raises blood pressure and heart rate if they're diving. Like if you hear your own heart rate and you have an epi, pop an epi, because that could be your one way to save yourself if you accidentally OD'd yourself.
Okay. So all that's so good. It's just the morphine. Okay.
There are also a few other medical things. I don't know if this really needs to be explained here, but this is just a small miniature, like a microscopic list. This is what I've just been passed down to me. Pretty much, this is what Cam Medical is pushing. CPR is going to be 60 minimum, 60 max. So still the 3 sets, do whatever. But instead of it being 20% chance to save someone for CPR, it's going to be 12 now. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
And we can still change that server side as well. So if you don't like
100%. Yeah. With that, I also think there is something as well with Cam where now it's trauma clears after bandaging. So that's actually a huge thing in my book because no trauma, no pain, no. Oh, I mean, there'll still be some pain, but no trauma, no post-trauma. Everything's good in my book. Which I think can also be.
Cam is a part cat.
Mm-hmm.
Dead. Like when you go into the Zeus model, the cam functions are there.
Yeah, cam is just a car component of cat.
Yeah.
What I also know the thing what we can't do. I don't know if it's something server side, but this is also something that's been pointed to attention to me. We can't clear trauma after stitching. I don't know if it's server side or if it's something that we can fix, but this is just another note that's been given to me from Cam's update.
Okay. Code, I might have to sit down with me and go over settings again and just kind of look at everything. Brokey, Jolly, if you guys want to be there.
Probably. I mean, Medical's my baby, so I'll probably do it and update the stuff.
Well,
yeah, I also have notes for the settings too, so it should be easy.
Hobnob's gonna give me the fix. All right. Talon, there is in the basic training we do go over medical. However, a lot of the people that have joined know basically how to do like buddy medical and basic medical. So we haven't touched on the people like it's been like Drummond and Hobb and like people who actually know what they're doing. But for when we open, and I know Smiley's gone, but when we open the high road of like everybody, if you know what you're doing, you kind of just walk through it. That everybody has to be treated the same and everybody has to go through it the same. So it is taught talent in basic. So that is something that is there. So
I have one more thing for Cam Medical. I don't know if this is server side or not. But apparently, EACA clears trauma. This is a Cam Medical thing. I don't know if it's server side or if it's stuff that's being done. But yeah, EACA clears trauma. That's what I got from the Cam stuff. That's pretty much all I have for medical. Oh, also, 90% of the documents are up to date. Especially on the MedHub, everything is categorized and made. The only thing that doesn't need approved on that is the medical blacklist, because that is just a gimmick thing. That's just for shits and giggles. Yeah. But yeah, restoration of origin. It's technically it's crushed tissue, Raven, and then it's elastic.
Also, I do want to touch on this one thing because that the lookout anchor stuff that Carrie said kind of reminded me of something. If you guys take a city and you guys are standing in the center of the crosswalk, not doing anything, and just sitting there fucking with each other, and not setting security and building trenches and having full 360 coverage, I'm going to give permission to Hobnob to drop a bomb on you every time. Absolutely every time, because this standing around just fucking off and doing whatever the fuck you want to do and ops, I don't want to get in the habit of that being a thing. Right? I know it's FTX, I know fun ops, whatever, right? But Sunday at 8:o'clock, you bring your A game. Do what you know how to do. And the reason why I'm telling you this is you guys again are basically the foundation. So anybody new that comes in here that sees you guys fucking off and doing that, they're gonna think they can do it too. And then I'm gonna have to constantly beat people with a stick to get them to go back to what they want to do or to do what they're supposed to do. A lot of you guys from 501st, you guys know better. Those of you who are not in 501st, trenches don't have any pass through. So if you're hiding behind a building, there's actually more pass through that building than it would be in the trench. Build the trench. Foxhole, 3 trenches. Okay. No,
You're a friend.
But sorry, we're gonna start with the kid. But 360 coverage. Get your teams to set up stuff. Talon, I know you don't have a team right now. Josh just went to reserve, so you just lost one. So we got to figure out something. But yeah, you have 2 people, Talon. That's all you got, and Doc. So you have 3. But that's it. All right, Cold, go ahead, PTS.
Addition to what Mehal was saying, if you're standing in the middle of the street, if you are bunched up, or you are in a foxhole or a trench, there's no more than possibly at the most 3 to a trench. If you are bunched up like a gaggle of fucking schoolgirls, there will be a spacing check, and the spacing will be fragmentation. Don't huddle up, please. It takes 1 airstrike to mass cast everybody, or 1 HE round. Anything. You will die.
1 angry tank.
Yeah.
Experience that one.
I will laugh at you when it happens, and if I see it, I'll probably throw a grenade in the trench. So it's running FTX. I'll probably just fuck with y'all if you do it. So.
If I see it, a flashbang will be going in that particular trench. So,
yeah.
No, seriously, spacing is king because it means we don't get mass hazard if a tank comes around the corner.
Yeah. But just a side note, because that Kyrie kind of reminded me of that. Yeah, Talon, because you guys are good. Go ahead.
Dead has a PTS.
Fuck, I forgot my other thing. I do have something for the medics. In terms of our base medical equipment we get when it comes to our bandages. You guys, we normally get what, 50 or 30, something like that. Like, if it's like split between elastics. Yeah, it's between elastics and packing. I was wondering if we can get an increase, but not of elastics or packing, either just quick clots or basics, as I don't see the need to fix minor cuts with a packing or an elastic, because minor cuts of course bleed, but it's a waste to waste a full bandage on such a small wound.
Okay, so I can answer this one, Coldenberg. The beautiful part about this, Dead, is you have a 30 count bandage limit of whatever bandage you want. Now, the kits just come with bandage like 15 and 15. You can use Medigel, Biofoam, Quick Clots, field dressings, any of that stuff. But you can only use a max of 30. And I think Medigel is capped at 8, if I believe. So, you don't have to use packing and elastic. You just can't use more than 30 bandages in your kit, or have 30 more than 30 bandages in your kit. So it just comes standard like that because it's easy. I'm not going to sit there and play fucking Jenga with bandages, right? You got 15 packing and 15 elastic, and if you want to take some quick clots and put them in there, you can take away from one of those 2 and add the remaining to quick clots. Or if you don't
Okay. I was, yeah. Personally, I find that's a little small amount because I get shot a lot, but I get it.
That's what your medics and resupply for.
Yeah. With that, sorry if I'm cutting anyone off. I am looking through the BMT document right now. I also correlate the BMT document a lot with basic infantry, even though we don't carry the same amount. We still have a very similar kit, except we actually carry more medical supplies. From what it's just showing here, you can carry packing, elastic, metagel, biofoam, and quick clot. With the biofoam being, metagel being only 8 max. So I don't know how that translates over to infantry kits. I don't know if it's like half of metagel or like you can only carry like 3 biofoam, stuff like that. But I know that
That's what I never
Essentially,
really understood.
biofoam is elastic bandages on crack. So instead of healing like one or doing partials on like very large avulsions, it does the whole thing and then some.
I
You
remember
talking
what
about
my other
Medivh?
I remember my other
Keep
part
going.
of my PTS was, if I'm allowed to speak about it.
yeah, go ahead.
Is email that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, it was a part of like the training, the BCT or the BCT. Um, if some if someone knows the thing, I understand you want us to go through the whole thing with them, whether they know it or not. But if someone knows it, are we allowed to necessarily like skim it somewhat? So not gonna necessarily go for word, but skim it through a little bit just so it's not gonna take like basically cut it down by like 30 minutes instead of taking all the whole 2 hours.
And this is something I think Smiley was talking about. He was going to sit down and go through each thing and actually time it, by reading and everything. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I was talking to a couple people about this. Um, I, you know, just having one person walk through this and one person who don't know what they're doing go through it, like, to me, just teach everybody the same. Because it's going to show, we did it with people in here that are, they know what they're doing, and I know that they know what they're doing. Um, but we're gonna get other people now that get in here that we start recruiting and everything when that opens that we don't know, and I don't know if you know how to do that, right? You can tell me you do, and I've ran into multiple situations where somebody was like, "Oh, I know how to JTAC," and they get an LR and they fuck it completely up, right? So,
Yeah.
um,
I'm not necessarily
or
like
I
skim
know
it.
I know how to I know how to do this, but then they don't, right? So I suggest if you have, and this is coming,
Um,
at least for me, if you got to read the room, you got to know how who you're teaching, right? Um,
I don't mean
if you
by
got a guy like a couple people, well, if you got a couple of people that you can say, hey, you guys got your radio set, and they go, well, how do I do that? And the whole room's kind of like the same, then you're gonna have to go through each individual thing, right? To me, if I say, hey, if you know how to set your radio, and they go, no, I'm going through that entire list. I don't care at that point. Like, we're going through the whole 2 hour thing. But if I got a group of people, they're like, yeah, my radio set already 150, like we're good, like blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, these guys have played Armor before. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to start making exceptions, because if you start making exceptions, people are like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, and then it creates a divide and all that kind of stuff. Treat everybody equally, and that's what I'm starting with the qual docs. So like, once they get approved and put in, if you do not have the qual, you do not run that. You do not run that weapon or that setup. Like, in the story, I don't care if you know it or not. Like, you're going to go through that training, and that's just how it's going
see, I
to
was
be.
saying like
I'm not making exceptions for other people. I want to. So
I was more or less saying like for the skimming, kind of similar to like the fact of not skipping a whole entire section, just not going through each individual sentence. Still going over with them, but
Can I
yeah, go ahead.
say a piece on this? Either way, I feel like it should be the instructor as well as like when you're recruited. I'm pretty sure one of the questions or one of the recruiting questions is like, how many hours do you have on Arma? Or like, what's your experience with the game? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I wasn't asked that when I first joined, actually.
Oh,
Because
well,
the document wasn't set up then.
But okay,
then
so
yeah.
the recruiters are trained to ask questions, right? So Brokey, you need to be like, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? Have you done played army before? Like that's stuff that you need to ask. Like it's not on the list, of course, right? But that's in the notes. I'm pretty sure that form has a note section on it, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so when you're doing that, you need to be like, okay, tell me a little bit about you. Like, what do you like to do? Do you like to medic? Do you like to fly? What is your preference? Like all that kind of stuff. Like, that's that information that you find out. That's when you do that. Like how experienced these people are. Oh, I just got into Arma. I really like this, but I don't know if I want to do this. That's all the stuff that you should be putting down in the notes.
Also, from experience over in the 5.0 first, asking that question once you're doing basic is also a good idea.
Yeah. And it's nice to just ask that again too, while you're training people in basic. Like, have you guys played Arma before? Like blah blah blah. They'll tell you. I haven't met a person in here that hasn't told me that they played Arma before. That is experienced. Oh yeah, I played Arma. I was in this game. Yeah. So. Oh my God, Brokey.
All right. We like because I wasn't finished with all the medical stuff, and you guys just like skipped right over. So I was like, okay.
Right, we're 11 minutes over, so we gotta hurry this up. Let's go.
All right. So, last thing, we do not have a Fenny auto injector. Because from what I get, it's Spark made it, and I was like, yeah, the only way to inject Fenny is to inject an IV. So that's like, okay, do we want to continue on with the IV? Do we want to create our own injector? That's all I pretty much have to bring to the table.
This is something I've been trying to do.
Spark for pointers.
Yeah, PTS about that actually.
I've been trying to do medical studies and trying to figure out like in the config, and it's kicking my ass. So I'm going to have to find Mark or Hob if you have some genius way of making this happen. I chose to forgo doing medical stuff because it was just a lot and I didn't know where to start, and Mark was busy. So that's something that we can revisit. Use what you got and make it work.
Okay.
Can I
Go ahead, Johnny.
PTS real quick?
PTS.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I actually like the fact that we don't have any auto injectors. I'm okay with that. I enjoy the challenge of having no auto injectors and needing to find the few seconds of space of that perfect moment to inject phenylephrine in an IV before doing all the normal shit. I don't mind it actually. I know that's probably crazy, but I like it a lot. It's a challenge that I like.
Okay.
That is all.
The only thing I really have to counter that though is
But your mom? That's my thing. Your mom?
Okay. The only counter I have that to really is if we're going to put Fenny into people's kits, they can't carry IV, and then we have to give them medical perms, stuff like that. That's the only whole reason why I bring up the Fenny auto injector. Anyways, I'm done. I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired. All right.
Fuck, shit, whatever. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anybody have anything else, like anything outside of what we talked about that I'm missing that you want to go over? Any kind of questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to bring up, like personnel wise?
Yeah, I have a question.
Fuck, Jolly, what?
Oh, sorry.
I'm playing.
Yeah, I had a question about the actual armor detachment. Are we just waiting on more people to show up, or are we gonna do that later? Are we just kind of like waiting for something? What?
What do you mean by armor?
By like like an armor detachment. Like I know Brokey wants to be a part of it and be like the head medical.
Getting armor.
The what?
Yeah, I know. They already shut it down. I was like, okay.
We're not getting armor.
The closest thing you're getting to armor is a shit on your chest.
Oh, damn it! I didn't know that. No one told me.
Yeah, I don't remember this. I said no. I don't know if this was a conversation that people missed, but we're ODSTs, people. We're not Marines.
No, we're not
Yeah, but
autistic like Badger.
to be fair, some ODSTs did actually
Yeah.
use warthogs and stuff.
They were
That's not
field
armor.
wrecked and used from point to point. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you field wreck a vehicle, it is to be used in a defensive position only. If I see a fucking squad in a goddamn scorpion running around killing things, I'm going to blow up that scorpion personally. I will inkey the fucking scorpion. If you commandeer a vehicle and you're using it,
Also,
thing on-
commandeering
the thing
vehicles,
on-
that needs to be communicated through your JTAG.
It's no matter. Anyways, no, I don't care about that. You know, we're going to be using warthogs. That's our vehicle. That's the max that we're going to be using. So anything else above that, if I see it being used, I'm gonna slap you, and I'm gonna let Hob blow you up with his fuzzy missiles or whatever the fuck they are.
He's gonna do some psychotic ass shit to kill you, and I hope you guys understand. You can't run.
He's gonna pick you up, fly you up to the center of the map, and drop you, and have a good time.
Essentially, yeah.
All right.
I'll pay him $1 every time he does it.
Also, Mayhal, before we end, reminding you I need a private meeting after.
Yeah, I got you.
Just reminding. Yeah.
All right.
Mehal,
I
on
think-
top of that, you said you needed to talk to me afterwards too.
Yeah, I need to talk to you. And Brokey, you can be there too. Yeah. We also like. I don't know which trucks you like better. If you like the Warthogs or you like the fucking 19th UNSC stuff.
I love the upgraded hogs. Those are way cooler. to
I
me.
don't even know.
By the
Those
way,
are fucking.
I got something
just get a
for
Corvette.
you and Hobnob, Mayhal.
Okay.
When I didn't mean to interrupt if I interrupted someone.
Yeah. Hop. I don't know if it can be picked up by the back of the fucking Pelican, but that'd be something funny. We could see if that works. I'm sure they can because they have a Pelican in the 19th UNSC stuff. So I think you could pick it up with your Pelican, but I'm not exactly sure if it would clip and send you flying or what.
I can help you guys with the missile testing if you would like. When it comes, when you guys want, if you just need it, that is. So.
Yeah. When it crosses that bridge, dead, we'll get you help on it. All right. Anybody else have anything? Because I'm gonna let everybody go because we're way over.
Speak now or forever hold thine peace.
It
3,
was fun talking.
2, 1. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Have a good day, all. Love you guys.
Okay,
Bye.
Hold on, before everyone fucking leaves, does anyone actually want to be in a Warframe clan? Because I will design the whole dojo myself.
I already have a dojo.
No.
If you want to join.
I got you, Tyler.
I'm
Hold on,
good.
hold it.
I'm so good, man.
Okay,
Talon,
just
if
wanna
you
make
want
sure.
to join one, I already have one.
He wants to join
Brokey,
us.
I need to speak to the both of you.
I want to build again.
I farm.
Okay. Jolly, go do your medical stuff, and I'm gonna talk to Raven, and then I'll.
All right, sweet. Where are we going? Sheet cold.
Yeah, let me figure that out first. I'm a little old. Hold on.
We'll see now.
Alright, we're going to Comlink.
Yeah. If that's okay with Raven.
Do you want to play?
No, please, please.
Oh. Where did Hob go?
What? No, hey,
Oh, what? What?
Huh? Oh my fucking god.
All right, Raven, where
Mayhal,
are we going? Icon?
Probably private car, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Private
easier.
phone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be back. Meh, 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 meh.